In this lesson we're going to look again at quadratic functions, but this time we're going to look at what happens when you put a negative in front of the x squared. So here we see the quadratic function f of x equals negative x squared. Now we're going to input the same values as before and see what comes out. So we're going to put a negative 3 all the way up to 3. Then we're going to sketch it and see what happens. So let's first of all put negative 3 into this function. Now what you really have there is the negative of negative 3 squared. Now from BODMAS you do powers before anything else, so you need to square the number first and then multiply with the negative. So do the inside of the bracket first. So we're kind of doing this bit here first. So negative 3 squared is 9, because negative times negative is a positive. But then we're putting a negative in front of it, so the answer is actually negative 9 here. So if you put negative 3 in, you get negative 9 out. Now the same thing is going to happen with the negative 2. You're kind of doing the negative of negative 2 squared. So do this bit first. Now negative 2 squared is 4, but you take the negative of that, so it's negative 4. So the coordinate they generate is negative 2 going in and negative 4 coming out. If you put negative 1 in, you're going to get the negative of negative 1 squared. Now doing this part here, negative 1 squared is 1, and then negative of that is negative 1. So negative 1, negative 1. Putting the 0 in, you're going to get negative of 0 squared, so that's just 0. Then let's start putting the positive values in. So when you put 1 in, you're getting the negative of 1 squared. So do the 1 squared again. You're doing this bit first. Now 1 squared is 1, and then you're taking the negative of that. So that's negative 1. So this 0, 0 up here, and 1, negative 1. Put the 2 in, so you're going to get the negative of 2 squared. Now do the 2 squared first, which is 4, and then it's negative. So negative 4. So your coordinate's 2, negative 4. And then put your 3 in. So the negative of 3 squared, because you're putting the 3 up in here. But it's easier to see it with a wee bracket around it. That's the way I do it, to make it easier to understand what's happening. Square the bracket first, and then take the negative. So this is 9, 3 squared, and then the answer is going to be negative 9. So we put 3 in, negative 9 comes out. Now when sketching this, instead of before when you did negative 3 and you went up to 9, you're going to go negative 3 and down to 9, negative 2 down 4, negative 1 down 1. And what happens is the graph ends up looking like this. You can see here there's negative 3, negative 9, negative 2, negative 4, negative 1, negative 1, and so on. So when you have a negative in front of the x squared, you have this kind of upside down parabola, if you like. You have a kind of hill shape, or a maximum turning point as it's called. Again, we'll look at that phrase later. The turning point's this part here, the yellow part, where it's starting to turn, and this one is at a maximum. So we've met two parabolas really, two looks. One where you've got a positive x squared, which gives you this minimum turning point, if you like. That's the turning point here, and it happens at a low point, so it's a minimum. And when you have a negative in front of the x squared, it doesn't matter if there's a number here or a number at the end, as long as there's a negative in front of the x squared, you get this maximum turning point. Now, a way to remember it is, if you're positive, then you're happy. So positive people are generally happy, so that gives you a smiley face. This is like a big smile. And if you're negative, then sometimes you feel sad, so you would have an unhappy face.